for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. You'll find this in your sheet music. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the phrase some more. So in this book where we got this song, it says, what is a phrase? Each piece of music tells a story. A phrase is a musical sentence. Phrases are combined to form the musical story, just as sentences are used in written language. And then finding phrases, when slurs are present in a piece of music, they help define where phrases start and end. And so we can look here, like we've been doing, at those phrase markings and see where one phrase begins, where a phrase ends. And then what we want to do is we want to use our dynamics to shape phrases into an arch like a rainbow. So we want to actually make the shape with those notes that the slur mark is making on the page. So the loudest part of a phrase usually occurs on the first beat of a measure toward the middle of the phrase. So we want to watch here, and if you notice in this particular piece, here's the peak of the phrase. We want to make that the loudest part of the phrase, and then we're going to get softer here. And we'll continue to do that. So here we start soft, we get louder. This is the peak of the phrase. When we get to the word, he's a jolly good fellow. So when you are singing, if you sing in a choir, you would call that word stress, where you were going to really stress the most important words. And when we are playing it on an instrument such as piano, we call that shaping the phrase. So that's what we're going to work on in this song for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. Notice we do have a pickup note at the beginning, so our time signature is 3/4, which means we should have 3 beats in every measure, but here I've got this 1/4 note all by itself. 1 beat up in front, and if you'll look at the very last measure, you'll notice that we only have 2 beats there because this beat actually belongs to that last measure, but is up here in front, and so we call that a pickup note. This song is in C position, so it's very easy from that standpoint. The left hand has some tied notes. So I'm going to play C and G, and I'm going to hold those for 6 beats. Now, one thing that is different in this piece is that we're going to have to do a little movement in the left hand. So if you'll look here, I'm playing with 1 and 5, C and G. Here I'm actually going to move my thumb up to A and then back down to G. So I'm still using fingers 1 and 5, but don't keep playing G and C here because the thumb moves up to A. Then when I get down here, notice that I've got a G and a B. So I'm going to move the pinky down 1 key, hold that for 6 beats, then move that pinky back up to C. So let me show you what that looks like on the keyboard. If I were to start here with the very first note, I've got C and G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move the thumb up, A, 2, 3, and G, 2, 3. Now I'm going to move the pinky down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thumb moves up to A. 1, 2, 3, and rest, 2, 3. Rest, 2, 3. 1 and 2, F and G. And then back to C and G. And then I've got a note that I don't even know what that note is right there. Well, actually, I do, but you haven't learned it yet. That's just a low C. So when I go from here, I'm just going to go down to this C, an octave below. I'm not sure if that's showing up on the iPad or not, so we'll go back and check it just to make sure, but I'm just going to go down to that lower C. So when I put my hands together, I'll have this. For he's a jolly, move the thumb up and back down. Now pinky moves down, a jolly, and back up, fellow. For he's a jolly, thumb moves up, and I'm going to cross over with the left hand here. Which nobody can deny. And down to that low C. And I failed to tell you that when I went through it the first time. So when you get to the word jolly good fellow, notice here it says LH2. So we're actually going to cross that left hand over to play that note. Let me just play the 3rd line of the music for you. So this is starting at square 9. He's a jolly good, thumb moves up, fellow, which down to that low C. And that's for He's a Jolly Good Fellow.